My presentation normally takes about 30 minutes. I have 15, so I'm going to really go fast. I'm again, Clinton Wesley Morgan. I'm originally from Wesley County, a little town called Hyden in between Hazard and Manchester. I live now in Richmond. I've lived there in Richmond for the past 37 years. I graduated from Wesley County High School and went to college at Eastern Kentucky University. Graduated from Eastern Kentucky University, went off and worked for the United States Treasury Department for 8 years. During that time as a United States Treasury agent, I was on the protection detail of Vice President Walter Mondale. When he was Vice President of the United States, I was on Teddy Kennedy's protection detail when he was running for President of the United States. And I was on the protection detail of John Anderson in 1980. My father became ill. He requested that I come back home. I was stationed in Kansas City, Missouri at the time. I came back. He died 6 weeks after I got back with a massive heart attack. I went in business for myself. I did what every one of you all do. I was a good Republican. I went and voted for Republicans at every primary and every general election. But that was as much as I'd done. And I didn't really get involved because I was concerned, just like I said, just like you all, of raising our family and trying to make a living. And then Barack Obama got elected. And then all of a sudden we went, oh my Lord, what in the world is happening? So I started trying to support candidates, Republican candidates, by giving them money. I was Rand Paul's first max donor. And I took and tried to help him. I've helped Andy Barr on several occasions. I helped other candidates. But I started seeing a lot of candidates that would, once they were elected, they would go and kind of throw in with the rest of the crowd, and nothing ever did change. And then one time when I was walking out of church in 2014, they asked me to run for state representative in District 81. I never had done anything like that again. Believe me, 10 years ago, if you had told me I'd be standing here in front of you all speaking, I would have told you you were crazy because I'm just a little old country boy that's raised in the coal fields. But basically, I ran in 2014 against Rita Smart. The Democrats had held the office for 48 years at that time, consecutively. And But I ran and lost, but I got 42% of the vote. And I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. The Republican Party didn't help me. No one helped me. I really didn't know what I was doing. And I got 42% of the vote. I said, oh my Lord, we can win this race. So I came back in 2016, and I was going to run in the primary. And the Republican Party put a candidate up against me in the primary, but I beat him. And then I ran against Rita Smart and won the general election in 2016 and took House District 81 away from the Democrats for the first time in 50 years. And that was a big task, a big task. I went to the House of Representatives, spent 2 years. I've had some problems because I'm a constitutional conservative. I believe in my oath of office, and when I raise my hand and I swear that I will protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Kentucky, I raise my hand and I mean what I say. And I am the person who caused Jeff Hoover to have to resign as Speaker of the House because I would not stand and help cover up his sexual harassment. So that's basically my background. I've been in business for myself for 37 years. In 2017, I was the National Retailer of the Year, presented with the National Retailer of the Year in Las Vegas, with lady in the alcohol industry. And at that same time, I was invited to speak before the National Association of Alcohol Regulators, which is all of the ABCs all across the country. And at the same time that they were asking me to speak for them, they were accusing me of filing self-serving liquor bills and all that other bull, which was all planted into the Courier-Journal to try to demean my character. I want to tell you what I believe in. I believe in faith, family, and country. I believe that we should be free to worship Jesus Christ without persecution. I believe we should be free to protect the life of the unborn and express your belief that abortion is morally wrong. I believe you should be free to educate your children without government indoctrination. I believe you should be free to protect your family from all threats without fear of being imprisoned for the possession of a firearm. I believe you should be free to enjoy the fruits of your labor without being taxed to death, and you all know we are being taxed to death. I believe you should be free to obtain affordable health care with the government's butt out of our business of our health care and opening it up to the free market so that we can afford it like we did before Obamacare. Even though it costs a little bit, they would pay for things, but they don't do that anymore. You might pay $1,000 a month, but you may have to do $6,000 or $8,000 a deductible before you ever get the first dime paid for. I believe that's wrong. I believe you should be free to choose your representatives without them being handpicked by a group of party elites. I believe you should be free to express your opinion without fear of reprisal or censorship. I believe you should be free to be treated fairly and prosper in peace and safety. I also believe that you should have free to have a news media that does not promote untruths through propaganda. All this is happening to us today. Now, let me tell you something about my opponent. My opponent, Mitch McConnell. I voted for him every single time in his run, except one time I voted for Bevin in 2014. But I have researched Mitch McConnell's voting record, and you're going to be astounded at what I'm getting ready to tell you. Mitch McConnell is not a conservative. Conservative view gives Rand Paul a 92% grade, but he only gives Mitch McConnell a 36% grade. Mitch McConnell is so unpopular in the state of Kentucky. He only has a 33% approval rating, and among Republicans, it's only 50-50. We stand, if we're not careful, to lose this seat to a Democrat the same way we just lost the governor's race if we're not extremely careful. Now let me tell you some things that I have to present to you to make me credible as a candidate. I have to prove to you 2 points. Number one, that Mitch McConnell is not doing all of these conservative judges and so forth, and that is really not what his main goal is to have done. He's doing it now. And also, I've got to prove to you that by him being the Senate Majority Leader, it is really not necessarily to your benefit. So let's start with Senate Majority Leader. Has anyone here ever heard of the Smith-Mundt Act? No one. I figured it. In 1948, they passed a law called the Smith-Mundt Act. That law prohibited propaganda, government propaganda, from being used in the news media. In 2012, Harry Reid, Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, the Senate Minority Leader, slipped into the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act, Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. And what that did, I'll show you the headline: U.S. repeals propaganda ban spreads government-made news to Americans. This is where fake news came from Mr. McConnell and Mr. Reid. Then what he did in 2017, after Donald Trump was elected November the 8th of 2016, Mitch McConnell slipped into the 2017 National Defense Authorization Act, House Bill 5181, which was co-sponsored by Ted Lieu, one of the biggest liberals congressmen out of California. And in that House Bill 5181, it was called Countering Foreign Disinformation and Propaganda Act. And what that did was that created a $160 million slush fund to be used by the Broadcasting Board of Governors to censor conservative content in social media. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of that censoring that's going on right now, including going on in my campaign, censoring conservative content, was done at the behest of Mitch McConnell slipping it into the 2017 National Defense Authorization Act. Now, what else he done is he has disenfranchised you as voters, because what he done in the 2014 spending bill, he slipped into the spending bill an act that increased campaign contributions from $32,400 to $324,000. Now that contribution max is for a party or a committee of a party. For example, the Republican Senatorial Re-election Committee. So it was $32,400. After he slipped this into the spending bill, it became $324,000 so that rich people can donate $324,000 into these campaign committees so that they can run against conservatives. And then what did they do now? This is a political rant. Senate GOP declares war on conservative troublemakers. The party's campaign arm vows to blackball any firm that works for a primary challenger against one of its incumbents. Now, I don't know how you all see it, but to me, that's disenfranchising the voter. It's giving the incumbent all the money they need to spend while we go. Now, a candidate can't get that money. No one can give me $324,000. They can't even give me $32,400. So, what I've just told you, and I have other things if I can get to it, I'm running.
4 minutes.
4 minutes, okay. On abortion, Rand Paul, in front of the Faith Forum, said that a high level of leadership, he didn't name Mitch, we know that's who he's talking about, said Rand wanted to file an amendment in the spending bill to defund Planned Parenthood. That guy looked at him and said, well, you can't do that. And Rand said, why? He said, because you might win. So he has never once taken the defunding, he has never once defunded Planned Parenthood since he's been in the House. In fact, he's voting for abortion. Then let's go to judges. So how come, Wesley, can you say that Mitch McConnell is not doing the job on judges? Well, now recently he has been passing those, getting those judges confirmed. But let's talk about the truth. What happened to the first 2 years of President Trump's, when he was in office, that we wasn't getting all those judges passed? Now, the thing that really proves the point is in August, we had a recess of the United States Senate. And what did Mitch McConnell do? He left a person in the Senate to gavel in every morning and gavel out every night so that President Trump would not be able to fill every one of his appointments by recess appointment. And under law, if he'd have filled them by recess appointment, those people would have been good in office until the end of 2020. Now, those people would eventually have been confirmed by the United States Senate, but he would have had every judge, every ambassador, everyone would have been able to go in place under recess appointments. Now, that is not a person who wanted to put conservative judges in there, and the only reason he's putting conservative judges in now is because he knows he's up for re-election. And he has got to try to act like that he is protecting President Trump. Who knows John Ratcliffe? John Ratcliffe, the president wanted him to be director of national intelligence. He had to withdraw his nomination because Mitch McConnell and Richard Burr would not confirm him, and so he had to withdraw, and the president had to appoint someone else. Mitch McConnell, one thing about the appointment, in that 2017 Countering Disinformation and Propaganda Act, it changed the Broadcasting Board of Governors. And it changed it because it was 4 Republicans, 4 Democrats, and the Secretary of State, and there's 9 members in that board. He changed it in 2017 that there was one czar that was over the Broadcasting Board of Governors. Barack Obama appointed that guy. To this day, Mitch McConnell has not allowed President Trump's nominee for the czar of the Broadcasting Board of Directors to come up for confirmation after 3 years in his presidency. Now, if that doesn't tell the story, I don't know what does. I am a constitutional conservative, and I would appreciate you looking at the handout that I have gave you that outlines his entire voting record, and you will be shocked at what he's done. Thank you all very much. I spoke as fast as I could. If I had time left, I got a few other things I could say.
20 seconds.
But I had to get the basic points out to you. There's a lot of other things that I'd like to talk to you about because, like I said, normally it's been 30 30 minutes. But thank you all so much. I appreciate it.